This video will cover the topic of lead management and efficient nest creation for CNC plasma cutting. Why are good leads important? These pictures show a few products that were created with the leads not set properly. When they're not set properly, they cause a dent in the product, and no one wants to use or buy a product that looks defective, whether it's a part like a washer or a base plate or for artwork. And if you haven't seen what these look like in real life on CNC cut plasma products, it looks terrible, and it's something you can see immediately. So having leads set properly is critical for CNC plasma. We will cover the following topics for lead management: the lead characteristics and setting them for each cutout, saving the lead settings with the part so you can preserve the leads after you make a design change, and preserving leads so they're already set for efficient nest creation. Leads have the following characteristics. They have a size, a shape, and a location. Most of the CAM products that I've seen allow for setting of a default value for these, a default value, a default location, and that is fine, except they don't set them very well. The technology just isn't there, and it sets them in bad places, bad sizes, and they have to be manually reset for each cutout. This is very time consuming and tedious. Let's jump over to a product here. Let's look at this product. Okay, here is something, and the red indicates that the lead is causing a problem. It's detecting a problem. So we can click this button to modify the lead, click here to give it a new location, and we can see over on the right the parameters for this lead, including the size, the properties for it, including the size and the location. We can see that this particular lead that we're working with right now is an arc lead, the size, the angle, but we can change it by clicking and dragging it around. If we drag it over here, it turns red. That's not good. But if we drag it right in here just so, we can get it to turn black, and that means that that is a better location. We can toggle the pierce size on and off if it's kind of in our way and we don't want to see it. We can turn it off. Like for this, there's plenty of room. I could probably just set this and say, yeah, I feel pretty good about it. It's black. We're in good shape. Here with this one, we can see the auto set lead out. It's just too long. This isn't a very good setting, although it is in there. It's not, wouldn't be optimal. But let's view the pierce size for this lead. Now when I did that, it turned red. So, we can kind of decide. Here we can see the pierce size is sort of big, which leads me to believe it's probably going to ding the part. Oh well, it's plasma, it's only so accurate, but this lets me decide where on the part I want it to have the defect. And maybe down at the end it won't be as noticeable as in the middle. And here we can see some of these parts are very narrow. So we'll go ahead and try to set the lead on this one. Maybe we'll try to find the biggest spot in there, try to get it in the middle for the least amount of damage. And maybe I want to set it down here at the end so that the ding will be at the end and maybe less noticeable than at the beginning. So some parts are going to be just too small and we're going to have problems no matter what, but we have to just kind of live with them. And some of them are going to be big enough where we have plenty of room and there's no reason to have a damaged part. But we go through and we set each of these as best we can. There, I found a spot that turned gray. It's probably a good spot. This is a terrible spot right here on this lead, right in the middle of this part. It's going to ding right into that. A better spot might be up here. Kind of go like that, put that in the middle, get this away from any other parts. Okay, maybe over here, this is where we want it because we want, it's going to ding, so we'll put it at the end. Or maybe we think, well, if I put it here, maybe there's enough room that it won't have a ding. So let's look at that pierce size on this one. Put that back over there. And maybe we kind of want to get it centered in the middle for the least amount of ding. Each one is an individual decision. On this one down here, this is a terrible spot. We have a lot more room over here, so let's put it over here, kind of put it right in the middle to lessen the impact and lessen the damage. So is anybody getting bored with this yet? I hope so, because I'm trying to make the point that setting these leads manually is something that must be done, and it's very tedious and it's very time consuming. I mean, everybody has something better to do than to set these leads. Especially if you've gone through and meticulously set all of your leads once, you don't want to have to go back and redo this every time you nest or if we make a change. So we've talked about the characteristics. We can see they have a size, a shape, and a location. Some are straight lines, some are arcs, some are arcs with a high angle, some have a small angle to fit right into that particular cutout ideally. Here's another summary of the size, shape, and location that have to be set. So it's very important to be able to save the leads after making a design change. Nobody wants to spend time, because you look at your artwork and you say, oh, his eye looks a little funny. Or even if you're making parts and you make a change to your part, you don't want to say, oh, well, I need to go back into my drawing program and I just need to make this a little bit bigger, or I need to move this over here. And so now you get to spend another hour resetting all of your leads because you made one small tweak to your design. This is not fun. Ask me how I know. It's also very important. In this case, we'll go ahead and save the changes we made. It's very important when you want to create a nest of products that you can have your leads saved with the part. So now it's time to make a nest. I can simply pick some parts from a part library or pull up this part. This is one part I want, so I'm going to go over to editing my parts list. I want to add some parts. Let's get these bear cubs climbing the tree. Let's get this part. That's a pretty simple part. Get this part. Go here. We're going to add a bunch of parts to create our nest. Now, we've added our parts in that we had created on a different day. We set the leads. We got them just perfect on a different day. We come in to make a nest. Who wants to spend an hour setting leads again? That would be nobody. We add the parts in. We go ahead and take a look at our leads. Oh, look, they were set previously. I've just pulled them in, zip, zip, and they are all here, and they're exactly where I want them. And it's absolutely critical on the location that we be able to set them where we want. Like this little spoke here. This is up against the area that has the most material. If the lead is against one of the spokes, it just burns through. I've tried this and it just burned through, so I went and I moved the leads on these little thin areas to be right where I want them. So back to the presentation. It's critical to be able to save the leads after you've tweaked the design. You want to make one small change. You don't want to go back and reset all those leads. And when you're ready to build a nest, you want to pull your part in and you want those leads to be there so that you don't spend and waste time resetting them.